Welcome to Colonie TV, the governmental educational channel for the town of Colonie.
Welcome to Parenting in the 21st Century. I'm Zina Shevchik. Today we have with us two representatives from the Albany County Department for Children, Youth, and Families. Patricia Paul-Zimbler, Supervisor, Foster Home Finding and Adoption Unit, and Cher Joseph, who is a caseworker in the same unit, Foster Home Finding and Adoption. Correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Good. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
One of the reasons you're here is because in November, November has been cited as National Adoption Month. So we're going to try and highlight today some of the services that your county department offers as far as foster home finding, and adoption. Mm-hmm. So who would like to start first in discussing what you're going to do for National Adoption Month?
Well, it's very exciting for November. Our first kickoff is on November 8th at noon at the Capitol. Well, it's actually behind the front of the Capitol, Swan Street, and we're having a rally. We're going to have our county executive speak, probably one of the judges, a child that has been adopted, and we're going to have the children. They're going to skip school probably, but they'll come down, and we're just going to have a rally letting everyone know. One of our foster adoptive parents will speak, letting them know the importance of fostering and adopting. So after the rally, we're all going to march down. We have really wonderful wooden cutout figures, and the kids will be holding them, and we're going to be marching down into the concourse where we'll have a table display set up for the whole month of November.
Yeah.
And we'll have a little reception, and it'll be our kickoff of having Adoption Month. In addition to a table with all our information, we're going to have the Heart Gallery, which is a national program, but we started it here in Albany County in 2005, and we work with all the other counties, Saratoga County, Rensselaer County, Schenectady County, Oswego County, to highlight children that are freed for adoption and need homes. So their pictures will be up around in the concourse that you can look at with a little description and how to contact someone if you're interested in either adopting, being a mentor for them, or even fostering.
Now, you used a phrase that I'm not sure I understand, freed for adoption.
Correct.
Can you talk a little bit about what that means?
These children in the Heart Gallery that are freed for adoption are children that are totally freed from both their parents,
Okay.
And need homes and either be adopted or someone in their lives to take care of them. A lot of our older children don't have anybody. You know, their parents have abandoned them. So they don't have any parents, and they're growing up in group homes or facilities, and then they age out of the program, and then they have no one. They have no one to celebrate Thanksgiving with or Christmas, and they're kind of on their own.
No family.
Yeah, and the caseworkers that work with them end up becoming their families.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard because you have so many children, you can't be, family to all of them.
Yeah.
So even with our children that are freed, that we have a lot of teenagers out there that need some kind of mentor, just to take them once in a while and be a part of their life, to call them for their birthdays.
That's what the other phrase, or
Mentor?
Mentor. Talk about that. Yeah, you were going into it right there.
A mentor is not a foster parent per se, because a foster parent would have the child every day and take responsibility for them. But a mentor is someone that is trained and cleared, but will take them on occasion, call them a couple times a month, check in with them, take them out shopping, take them out to dinner, or to take them for holidays, and be somebody that they can call and rely on. So if you can't commit to being a foster parent or an adoptive parent, a mentor is a great way to help out and help our kids without having to be fully committed.
And so there's a lot of people, a lot of kids in foster homes who are not freed for adoption. They're still in transition as far as other family members that are working to maybe bring them back into their family?
Yes. Our first goal in foster care is to reunite with the family and also to find relatives to take the children and bring them home. We have a traditional foster care program that I can talk to you about later, but we also have something called a kinship foster care program, that if a child comes into foster care and goes into a foster home, we look for relatives, and if relative steps forward and is appropriate, we will make them a foster parent so they can get the help they need to have this child home and into the environment that they're used to being in.
Talk about the process as well as the guidelines for qualifications for people who want to foster a child or mentor a child, and what's different there, and what kind of support is given, and education.
Mentoring is it's very different because it's a short-term commitment to a child. Well, I shouldn't say short-term, but it's not that day-to-day that a foster parent has. To be a foster parent and to be a mentor, you have to be 21 years of age, and for our program, you have to live in Albany County. You can be married, single, coupled. We don't care about religious beliefs or sexuality. We have gay, lesbian families that foster and have adopted through us. You have to be self-sufficient, have a job, be able to care for a child, have to have space in the home for a child, has to meet the health and safety requirements like a window in the bedroom, a closet, a bedroom for the child. Children of the same sex can share a bedroom. You have to, the first step if you're interested in being a foster adoptive parent is to go to an orientation program. We have them at Albany County once a month, and our next one is November 20th. We have them at 2 o'clock and we have them at 5 o'clock.
So you accommodate everybody's schedules.
Correct. So you would come in to this orientation and you would learn about the kind of children that we have, how children come into foster care, monies, regulations, procedures, things like that. You also receive an application. So if you're interested after the orientation, you submit an application to us, and we'll call and we go out and we have what we call as a first home visit. Now, to be certified for a foster adoptive parent, there's a lot of things you need to go through because we're entrusting our children with you, and we want to make sure that you're the person to care for this child. So we will do a criminal background check. We will do a state central registry check to make sure there's no abuse or maltreatment of a child. We check your house to see if it meets the health and safety, smoke alarms, carbon monoxide detectors, making sure there's screens on the windows, wires, are put away, medicines are put away. And then we check and make sure you personal references, professional references, your employment history, how much you make, things like that. There's also a 10-week training program, which is called Model Approach to Partnership in Parenting, and we call it MAP for short, that we you have to go to be a foster adoptive parent. And in that 10 weeks, we do this twice a year. We usually do it in the fall and the spring, and it teaches you really a lot to be what a foster parent is. And MAP is purpose is to make an informed decision whether foster parenting is right for you. Because a lot of people go in and think, it's just easy. I'll love them and they'll be fine. But there's a lot more. There's dealing with the agency and dealing with the birth parents and working to get the child home and dealing with the court system.
Understanding the legalities.
It's just it's a lot in teaching the families the needs of our children, because if our children didn't have needs, they wouldn't be in foster care.
Right.
So teaching them how to deal with some difficult behaviors, how to navigate the system, how to work with birth parents, how to work with the agency. So this 10 weeks, which comes out to 30 hours, really gives a basis and a foundation for our foster adoptive parents. And it also helps us really get to know them because they have homework, they have a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of home visits that Cher and the two other, Lisa and Val in my unit, go out and really divulge in their lives. It's an intrusive process, but we really need to know you.
Well, you want to make sure that it's a good fit, so there's fewer problems down the road.
Right.
I mean, that I assume is your job, and to a large extent as a caseworker, where you actually go into the home. So in effect, you become a mentor for the possible potential foster or adoptive family,
Yes.
right? I mean, that's what your job is. You want to talk about that a little bit? About if she hasn't, maybe she's covered everything. Maybe Pat's covered everything. Anything you want to add, Cher?
The only thing is that as being a caseworker at the department, it takes a strong individual to be able to deal with a lot of the support network that's going to be necessary for the family, which in turn will definitely support the child and the child's needs, as well as the birth family. So we have a new program that's starting, and probably Patty was going to bring that up, but it's called Family to Family, and that's a new initiative that we're going to start doing effective October 15th, and that is basically going to establish a relationship between the foster parent and the birth parent in meeting the needs of the child as soon as the child's removed from the home. And we're hoping to make sure that meeting is done as expeditiously as possible within 2 to 4 days of the child being placed. And we're hoping that with that meeting, there'll be a visitation plan set up. The foster parent will get to know what it was like for that child to live in their own birth family. If there's anything that the birth family might want to share with the foster parents. Caring for their child, because the child, has never been in that home. The child's a stranger to them and vice versa, and we want the birth family to be able to establish a relationship.
Good, right, lines of communication open.
Because it's really important to work in partnership. That's what we teach our foster and adoptive parents. You have to work in partnership not only with the agency, but with the birth parents to help that child return home. And if the child is not able to return home, to have that relationship that if the foster parent does end up adopting, to keep those connections, because it's really important for the child to always know where they came from and who they are, because their identity, is from the birth parents.
And I've lived long enough. I just know that this is a transition. I mean, this is new relatively to the way adoption and fostering used to happen.
Absolutely.
It used to be much more of a closed system. And this sounds like it's to the benefit of the child to have everybody talking and be relatively open, at least as open as it can be, because the keeping secrets uses a lot of energy, and it's very rarely positive energy. So tell us about what kind of financial support foster families get while they're have the child or while they're in training to?
Well, once you are certified and open as a foster parent, you do get a daily stipend to care for them, to help. We also provide daycare money if foster parents work, so we'll reimburse amount for daycare. So it's not a lot of money, but it's something to help out. So you're not dipping into your own resources a lot to help care for the child.
Do you offer the continuous? You're a social worker. Is that what you would call what you do? Social caseworkers.
Yes.
Caseworker. Do you offer continuous counseling to families as they request it? Is there something that's always available to them if they need it?
Do you mean the foster family or
the
case?
foster family? The foster family. What's available in terms of counseling to help people through difficult transitions?
In MAP. During the MAP class, we would hope that there would be some networking between the families, and they would be a support to each other, and in that network, and also going to different trainings and different activities that we have. They'll get to meet other seasoned foster parents, and that way, when they need support, they can rely on each other.
Okay.
And also, if they adopt, I mean, we do have support through the Post-Adoption Resource Center at Parsons Child and Family Center, and I sit on that committee for that. And what we do is we try to get people to come and engage in groups, support networks through that program to help them and guide them through the difficulties that their children or the transitions that they're even going through as a family after they adopt a child.
And with a new foster parent, we set them up with a mentor. So, and I don't want to say old, but you know, someone that's seasoned that can help.
Yeah.
And we're always available. We call, we check in with them.
That's kind of what I was asking. You said,
they call us. We'll go to meetings with them. We'll lead them. So it's not like, here's your child, goodbye. You know, we're still involved. The child has a caseworker that's involved in their life, and if they need counseling and they need things, they'll get everything they need for the child and the birth family. But we're there for the foster parents.
Right.
So, you know, if they're having a hard time or a child does end up returning home to the parent, and we're happy about that, you know, the foster parents sometimes are a little sad, and we help them. And, you know, it's a lot about matching and finding the right match, finding the right child to go into their home, and finding the right mentor that they can work with to help them go through this stuff.
And that's why you have that tricky, I won't say tricky, it is there's step-by-step bureaucratic work to be done, homework. You were calling it homework to be done.
No, there's seriously homework.
No,
that they're
I
right.
imagine there is. I know, you know, people even who have their own children, you never know. You think that love is going to do it.
No.
Yeah.
Even people in marriages think love is going to do it all, right? There's always work involved, and it's always a little bit more complex.
It's so funny because the people at MAP say, I don't understand. I've been a parent. I'm a grandparent. Why would I have to go through a 10-week parent program? And it's not a parent program. But after the end of the 10 weeks, I have not, in all the years I've done this, have somebody say it was, you know, it was a waste of time. Everyone says to me, I've learned something.
Right.
I wish I could do more, and this is an amazing program.
Right. Well, you know, parents, people who become parents of any kind think it's a you know, a off-the-cuff kind of thing you can do, and it's so not, you know.
Right. Well, that's a good thing to have this program, because it's an informed decision.
Right.
It's saying if you're right for our program, and if we're right for your family.
That's
And it's making a match, because you have to know how to make a perfect match with a child and a family, or it's not going to work out. And we want to make sure it works out, because we don't want children moving from place to place to place.
Right.
They need to stay where they're going to stay until they return back home or be adopted.
Right. Before we came on air, we were joking a little bit about the statistics of fostering in New York State and Albany County, and you were saying that you had a statistics for Albany County, but am I right?
Yes.
That are in foster care right
Yes.
now. Do you
Yes.
have any kind of statistic about who's? Well, you can give me that statistic.
Okay.
And then you can tell. Do you have a statistic about how many people are in? How many kids are in foster care, or how many are waiting for foster care? Or is that always in flux?
Well, right now, we have approximately, and it changes every day because children come in and out. We have approximately 157 children in foster care in Albany County. We had 30 adoptions last year. We've had, Cher's going to help me with this because she did it, I think 14 adoptions this year.
Right.
Correct? We have several, we probably have about 25 to 35 teenagers. Their goal is an adoption. It's
Another planned living arrangement.
right, which means
Say that again.
Another
Another
planned
planned
living
living
arrangement,
arrangement. Okay.
APLA, which helps them learn how to be self-sufficient so they're out on their own. But these are children that don't have anybody, and we need those mentors for.
And we want them to have a significant attachment to someone in the community,
Right.
so they're not aging out of the system, you know, by themselves, that they do have a support network as well.
So, I mean, that's good to know. I'm not sure I ever heard of that kind of program before,
Right.
that you can be a mentor. I've heard about the, boys club, girls club
Right.
kind
Yeah,
of
Big
thing.
Brothers, Big- yes.
Brothers, Big Sisters. So mentoring is possible even if you can't commit to
Correct.
a foster parent total commitment.
Correct.
So, I mean, that's really good to know. And I bet a lot of people could do that where they might be able to. Or as a
Absolutely.
step into the fostering.
And we want more
foster care program.
families to, they might be wanting to help out a family member, and we would just want to encourage them that there is support through kinship. So kids don't have to be removed from their home. So we just want to make sure that that word gets out, that families that are struggling with, just children in their family that don't have a place to go, that they may want to consider being a kinship foster parent.
Okay, so that's good to know too.
Mm-hmm.
Are you, when you give these information sessions, would you have them in one place in Albany County, or do you
Yes.
have them? Okay.
Wait, thank you for asking me that. I forgot to plug. It's at 112 State Street. On the 4th floor. Basically, what they would have to do if they're interested in attending one of our orientations is to call 447-7515, or they can go on the website albanycounty.com, and what they would do is ask for us to send them information. We'll send them a pamphlet, and we'll send them a sheet of paper asking what time and which orientation they'd like to attend, and they'll send that back to us. It's really important that we have that information, because in case of a snowstorm and we have to cancel for
Right.
some reason, we'll know how to get a hold of you. So you kind of register for the orientation just so we know who's coming and who to expect.
Okay, so you have those 2 sessions every month, is that?
Every month we have a session, 2 o'clock or 5 o'clock. So
Okay,
and if for some reason you can't come to that session and you need, we also talk to you individually. We're very flexible to try to meet everyone's needs.
So you will send them information?
Correct.
Okay, all right. And so this is the Albany County Department for Children, Youth, and Families?
Big,
Right? Okay. And it's on the web, albanycounty.gov,
Yeah,
right?
.com.
.com. Oh, okay.
And the number is 447-7515. That's our informational number.
Okay. Now, is there anything else before we wrap up that you wanted? I bet there is.
I would love to plug a couple of our events. As
Okay.
you know, it's November 8th is the Rally for Adoption Month. We are at Crossgates Mall on November 3rd.
November 3rd.
We'll have a little table. We'll have the Heart Gallery there also. Let me just refer to my paper. On November 17th and 26th, we'll be at Colonie Center.
Okay.
And
These are
that's
like information?
no, they're just tables, yes.
Tables,
We'll
that's
come
it.
here, answer questions.
November
Just
17th.
being out November 17th and 26th. And the 8th is the rally. In May, I just want to plug Foster Care Month. We always have a big walk. It's usually at the crossings. I don't know where it'll be next year. And that is open to the public. We have hot dogs and ice cream and cookies and entertainment, and it's
Let's think about
wonderful.
spring now, just before we get into winter. All right, plan for our
So if
first
you ever
spring
want to walk
celebration.
in May,
Foster Care
maybe
Month.
we can come back and plug that and
about
talk
that.
about that, because that's a lot of fun. Clowns and it's a really big thing to. And November, doing Adoption Month, it's just trying to get bigger and bigger.
Yep, that's great.
So-
That's wonderful. Thank you for the work that you do, and
Thank
you
you.
for
You're
coming
welcome.
today. Pamela.
Patty.
Patty. Why did I say Pamela? Patricia. How's that? Patricia Paul-Zimbler, Supervisor, Foster Home Adoption, Foster Home Finders,
Yes.
Adoption Unit,
Unit.
and Cher Joseph, caseworker with the same unit in Albany County Department for Children, Youth, and Families. Thank you again.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us today with Parenting in the 21st Century.